Hello and welcome. Can you state your name and address so I can find you in the roster of voters?
My name is Eleanor Rigby, and I live at 123 Abbey Lane.
I don't see you in the roster. Let me check the supplemental. Finding your name. Have you recently moved?
Yes, I moved 2 months ago.
Under the Help America Vote Act, any voter may cast a ballot at any polling place. I am Prudence, the provisional ballot. You never want to turn a voter away, so I was created to allow all eligible voters the opportunity to participate in the election and have their voice be heard. A provisional ballot is the same ballot that is issued to every voter, but instead of being put through the scanner, it comes back to the main elections office in a sealed blue envelope that contains the voter's information. The ballot can be counted once the office determines that they are an eligible voter in the county and they did not already vote elsewhere in the election. The provisional process can be used for any voter when their right to vote cannot be verified at the polling place. The ballot has to return to the main elections office in the blue provisional envelope so they can do the research and determine if that ballot can be counted. This is also why you never, ever want a provisional ballot to go through the scanner. A voter would use the provisional process if they are not on the roster or supplemental roster, or if they are at a different address than what is listed in the roster. Voters must also use the provisional process when they are listed on the roster as vote by mail voter in the remarks column, but do not have a ballot to surrender to the precinct board in exchange for a precinct ballot. The other two reasons that a voter would have to vote provisionally is if they did not have the required identification as listed in your roster, but only if notated in the roster that they are supposed to provide ID, or if they arrive after the polls close at 8 p.m. If the voter is not on the roster or at a different address, you can offer to help them find their correct polling place, but remember, they can still vote provisionally at your poll. Let them decide. A voter using the provisional process for any reason should never ever sign the roster. Send the voter down to the provisional officer. First, fill out the top gray portion of the provisional envelope with your precinct number and the ballot type number. If this was a party primary election, you would write the party ballot that is going inside this envelope. For a general election, you can pre-fill this information on a few envelopes while you have some downtime, since it will be the same for all voters. The ballot type is a unique combination of contests and candidates. It is the same on all ballots for a particular polling place for a particular election. This is located on the top left-hand corner of all of your ballots. When a voter heads your way, you will ask them to repeat their name and address for you to record on the blue provisional log. Some election officers choose to do this part at the end, or even have the roster of voters officer record their name on the log. It doesn't matter when you do it, as long as the information is recorded on the provisional log. If the voter has a certain language need, make sure you provide them with the appropriate bilingual envelope and registration form. You will then take one of your envelopes and select the reason on why the voter is using the provisional process. In this case, mark the box next to Voter Not on Roster. This says that a VRF is required, so include a blank voter registration form to give to the voter so you can make sure their record is set for future elections. Next, instruct the voter to fill out the white portion of the envelope with their name, residence address, and any other information that would help us to identify the voter back at the office. Most importantly, the voter needs to sign their provisional envelope. While the voter is completing their portion, obtain a ballot set from the ballot demonstrator officer and make sure the stub is removed. Fold the ballot cards into thirds and place the folded ballot, removed stub, and envelope in the blue provisional secrecy folder. Don't forget to give the voter a pen and tell the voter to fill in the bubbles on the ballot completely. The voter may also choose to use the auto mark to mark their ballot. The folded ballot and blue secrecy folder help to alert the assisting officer that this ballot should not be placed through the scanner. You will now tell the voter to vote their ballot cards and place the folded ballot in the provisional envelope and return to you when complete. Check that the voter has completed the white portion and, most importantly, that they sign the envelope. If the envelope is not signed, their ballot will not count. If issued a voter registration form, make sure it is on the outside of the envelope, not placed inside. Once everything looks good, seal the envelope and you can put their completed provisional ballot in the black ballot bag, or the voter can do it. Again, let the voter decide. After each election, Sacramento County dedicates dozens of staff members to process provisional ballots. First, staff looks through the database of all registered voters in the county to see if they can locate the name and address that is written on the provisional envelope. Once they locate the voter in the system, they will determine the eligibility of the voter, including verifying that they did not already vote by mail or at a different polling place. Once the eligibility of the provisional ballot has been verified, the envelope is opened and the ballot will be counted and included in the county's final election results. So the voter can call the main elections office 30 days after the election to see if their ballot was counted. You don't have to remember all the steps. In your precinct's final instructions envelope, you will have a procedure card that will help you through the process. If you have any problems or questions on or before Election Day, please call the elections office. They are here to help, just like me.